Hi everybody, welcome back to Center School. For those of you who are new or don't know me, my name is Mrs. Johnson and I'll be your art teacher for the year. Today I just want to go over two things really. One, our Google Meet expectations and how we're going to behave in the Google meetings, and then also your art folders, which I have gotten I think to everybody just about now. So you should have that at home with you, and I will go over everything inside. But first things first, with our Google meetings, I think the most important thing is that we remember to stay on mute, which is kind of hard because it's so not what we're used to in our art classes, or if you're new to our art class, talking is such a big part of what we do. But for our Google meetings, it's really important to stay muted unless you raise your hand like this, and that's fine, and I can call on you and I'll see you if you raise your hand like this. Or on the top, there is a little person with their hand raised that you can click on, and I will see that as well. So either way, to raise your hand is fine, and I will call on you as soon as I can. It's just really important to do it that way, because otherwise, if you unmute and just ask me a question, and if a couple people do that at once, nobody can hear each other. So important to stay on mute until you raise your hand and I call on you. And other than that, the other most important thing I think is to be really ready for class every week. Be at a table, some sort of a workspace where you can be able to draw or paint or whatever it is that we're working on for the week. So have a focused workspace where you have some quiet area, a cleared off space where there's nothing else that you're going to be working on at the art time. And the only other thing, I don't think we'll end up using the chat in the Google Meet, so no chat unless it's something that we're doing as part of the lesson. And if it is, I'll let you know and ask you to do that. But now let's go ahead. I'm going to switch to my other camera and go over the art folders with you and everything that's inside. And it's something that we're going to use for the whole year, so keep it safe. Okay, so I have my art folder here. Right now the cover is very blank, but we're going to go ahead and change that soon. But if I open it up, you're going to see that there's already a bunch of papers on this side in your pocket, and this side is empty, and I will explain both. Let me take this out so you can see everything. This is just a letter for you to read with someone at home, and it pretty much explains your folder. I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you now too, just so you know. So I'll go ahead and take this off. Now, each grade, kindergarten first and second, is going to have this. This is going to be the cover to your folder. Now, if you're in kindergarten, like this one, it's orange. If you're in first grade, it's going to be a nice blue. And if you're in second grade, it's a minty kind of a green. So whatever color you have for this art coloring page is fine. It just depends on your grade. And what we will do at the end of this is we're going to go ahead and put it onto the cover, but we're going to talk about that after. So, first things first, the letter, and then your art, which will be the cover for your folder. I'll flip through that. And then after that, you're going to start to notice a whole bunch of different papers. For some of you, it's going to be white. Sometimes it's going to have something already on it. Sometimes it will be construction paper, black paper, orange paper. It's really important. I know sometimes it's really exciting to have art supplies at home, but it's really important not to use this paper for anything other than your art projects. Because what I don't want to happen is for me to say, okay, class, go ahead and find your colorful paper inside in this fun shape, and you go, oh, I used that already for a project on my own. Whoopsies. So we don't want that to happen. So whatever's in here has to be just for art class. And I know that's going to be hard, but we can do it. The other thing at the very end, you'll see that these elements of art, line, shape, texture, color, space, value, and form. We're going to talk a lot about these words throughout the year. To start, we're going to talk about line, but I wanted to add in a few coloring pages like this and this one, and some free draw pages. A lot of you know what these two things are for, but if you're new and you don't, if you ever have extra time at the end of our art class, maybe just a couple, 4 or 5 minutes at the end, and you finished early and there's nothing else for you to do because you did everything you possibly could on your project, Then you may go ahead and take either one of your coloring pages out or one of your blank free draw pages out, and you can work on whatever it is that you'd like to for the last few minutes on your own if you are totally done. Okay, so on your free draw, please make sure, and I guess for your coloring too, use the front, use the back, fill your space, color everything in, take your time, okay? So this will always be in the back of your folder, and you can use it when you need it. And I will go ahead and give you a few more pieces every once in a while when I pass paper out to go home. So you probably noticed by now, you have a big fancy label here. I just wrote paper for projects because that is what this side of your folder is for. Every time I hand out paper to go home and you need somewhere to keep it safe, put it right here in this side where it says paper for projects. So this is going to keep your paper safe from being bent or colored on or ripped by accident. On the other side that's empty says artwork. And again, you have a beautiful little label on your folder. This is where you're going to keep your projects when you're working on them and you need somewhere safe for them to stay. So maybe you're not done yet, but you need to keep it safe. You can put it right inside this pocket. Or when you are done, you're going to keep all of your artwork here to keep it safe. So all of your artwork for the year is going to stay in here, in this side of the folder. If we run out of room, we'll get another folder going. But for now, everything stays in this side. Alrighty, that should explain it. And I think what I'd like to do now is go ahead and let's get our covers, the paper that says art, put onto the front, and we can write our names on it. I'm going to take that paper out, which you can all do also. And again, mine is orange because I have a kindergarten one. You may have one that is blue for first grade or green for second grade. So I'm going to go ahead and close my folder. And I'm going to take my art page, and you're going to actually write your name right here where it says name. And then it just says kindergarten or first grade or second grade for you already. You can write with a crayon, with a marker, pencil, whatever you have with you. You are going to have your art kits with you, which you should have ready to go for next class. Next week you'll need some, could be markers or crayons or Sharpies. Let's see, right here I'm going to write Mrs. Johnson. And I would be all set. Now, we want to make sure you have your folder facing the right way. You don't want it facing this way, so when you open it up, it doesn't make sense with the wording. You want your folder to open this way, and I want my artwork to go right in the center on top. So I'm going to turn my paper over, take off my glue stick cap, twist, I'm going to turn it so it pushes the glue up. And at the end, I'm going to push my glue stick back down, but for now I need it up a little. Hold my paper, and I'm going to put some glue in each corner, maybe a little bit along the top, each corner, a little bit along the bottom, and you're going to fill in a little bit in the center. I like to make a big X and make sure I get the edges. That should do the trick. Now I'm done with my glue stick, so I'm going to unwind it, go down, and put my cap on so it doesn't dry out. I'm going to take my paper and turn it over, and I don't want to just kind of plunk it down and say, great, done. I want to try and make it as straight as I can. So I'm going to take the top and I'm going to look and I'm going to say, does this look kind of straight to me? Does it look equal here and here the best that I can? And I think it looks pretty good. This would look crooked to me, kind of getting there, straight. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push it down and flatten it out. Make sure you get all the corners. And really push down. Give it some time to stick. Okay. My cover is complete, and also you can use this as a free draw option. So if you finish early and you have a little bit of extra time, crayons will look great even on top of the color. So crayons are going to cover this orange or blue or green color perfectly. So you could use this as some free time coloring as well. All right, I will see you next week, and I look forward to making our first big project together.